welcome from the airport. We're here today to test out the Canon 200 to 400mm F4L lens. Roberto is carrying that big stuff. And let's see how this lens performs for spotting airplanes.
Yes, that's the box, which is included when you purchase this lens for about 12k. Admitted that I wouldn't put that lens just in my backpack because of the price. I was informing myself about the case because I was wondering why it's not equipped with wheels, like the one from the 600mm that I was reviewing a few weeks ago. The reason behind could be that Canon doesn't want the customers to roll the lens in the case over rough surfaces with the weight of around 12 pounds. Let's get through it. Starting with the unboxing, of course, we have the well-built box, some keys to lock it, and the 200 to 400mm lens. Despite of the size of this lens, it feels pretty good in my hands, and of course it's well built. On top we get a cover for the front element. Do you know why? No, you don't? It's pretty simple. It's because there's no lens cap for the size of this lens. That was easy, wasn't it? Additionally, there is a carrying strap coming with it as well. Just for your info, if you want to rent this lens, no problem, there's a link in the description below how to do it. I mean, this lens is really special, but not only the lens, also the front element that I was just mentioning. Now, you better take a seat because it gets expensive. Hey, what do you mean, German boy? If you lose the lens hood or you do rubbish like Alissa, you pay 400 bucks for a new one. And once again, 400 bucks for a new lens hood, so take care. There are 2 points missing. On the left and the right side of this beast you have 2 fittings to attach a carrying strap. You can find the third one at the tripod mount, which is the next point. There are 2 mounts for a quick release plate or ball head. You can turn the tripod mount 360 degrees around until you feel dizzy. If you need a filter for whatever reason, no problem, all you need is a 52mm drop-in filter. There are so many buttons and switches around this lens, I doubt that you make use of every switch or button. But in general, we have the possibility to change the focus distances, we can turn on and off the image stabilizer, or we may use them in the 3 provided modes. There is a switch for the focus preset and the power focus, some of them will be explained in a bit. Very important today, filming with your DSLR. Some of you may set your focus in manual mode and therefore you need more than one hand movement to step through the entire focus range. Zooming is much easier, just one hand turn and there you go from 200 to 400mm. Let's get to some action. During that day we did not use a tripod for our shots, but the lens felt a lot more easy to hold than the 600mm. Of course it's a bit lighter as well. I was impressed about the focus speed. The lens in combination with the Canon EOS 5D Mark III for all shots took 1 second to focus from various distances. Another cool part of this lens is the integrated 1.4 converter that increases your focal length up to 280 to 560mm. There are also 2 external converters available, another 1.4 and a 2x converter. If you want, you can take a look on Canon's website for details. The lens is sharp through the entire focus range, starting wide open at f4. As I was mentioning before, the focus is really precise. If you want more details, I'm providing many photos that I was taking during that day for your private use. Take a look in the description below for some details. There are a couple RAW files as well, all taken with the Mark III. That was our short trip to Frankfurt Airport near the runway 25 left. All as a goodie for you. The main use for that lens is considered to be in wildlife photography and sports. That should be pointed out mainly because of the price and the focal length. Nevertheless, use it for whatever reason, it should make sense to you. Do you have any experience using this lens? If yes, leave me a comment below for what you're using this lens. We're heading back towards Frankfurt to point out some other features which make this lens special.
Alissa? Are you trying to vlog yourself with a telephoto lens?
Hi,
Don't be so stupid.
Frankfurt.
Yeah, you can vlog yourself with that one. You can. I have an idea how it works.
Okay, I think if you spend your 12,000 bucks on a lens like 200 to 400mm, you have a specific reason for it. Could be your job or you're an advanced hobby photographer with a lot of money, but you probably wouldn't buy this lens for vlogging. But I wanted to point it out, it's not a vlogging
Alissa,
lens.
stop it! That's not YouTube, that's another you. Stop doing that, that's not for our review.
But there is another occasion to use this lens wisely. One thing that you can do with the 200 to 400mm, you can take wonderful portrait pictures. How this looks in practice we'll show you in a few seconds. The 200 to 400mm is a really good lens for taking portraits as long as you have enough space available. Bear in mind that the closest focusing distance is about 7 feet. Wide open at f4 you get a nice and clean bokeh. The closer you are to your subject, the more pronounced is the blur background. Another occasion for using this lens would be on a wedding. The distance between you and your subject keeps the natural behavior of it. The closest focusing distance is at about 7 feet or 2 meters, so it's another great occasion to make a full use of this lens for wildlife and flower photographers. You can get extreme close to catch all the important details of your subject. At the front side you will notice a couple black buttons. The reason behind is to stop the autofocus at your setup distance to your subject to stop the lens from focusing to keep the distance to it. So what are you doing there? Are you trying to take photos of the skyline without using the integrated 1.4 times converter? That's one of the reasons why this lens is so special. You have already an integrated 1.4 converter. Just turn the switch near the camera around and lock it if you want to. That extends your focal length from 280 to 560mm. Of course it takes a full stop away, so your aperture jumps from f4 to 5.6.
Roberto, what are you doing there? It's a lens and not a weight.
Of course, the size and the weight makes this lens to a training device with its 3700 grams, but bear in mind the price of 11 to 12k. On that day we did not have that much of sunshines left, so I tried to catch some simulated lens flare, which is kept to a minimum due to the valuable fluoride element. Using the lens with the converter wide open will give you a lot of vignetting. Without using the converter, starting wide open at f4 will give you also a lot of vignetting until f7.1. The smaller the aperture gets, the better you get rid of the dark edges. We're coming closer to the end of my review. Let's get to the best part, the bokeh of this lens. I was using the Canon EOS 5D Mark III for all shots. As you know, it's a full frame camera. I wouldn't have that much of a blur background on an APS-C sensor camera. The 9 aperture blades give you these nice and round bokeh bolts. Of course, this lens has many advantages. The key points are pretty obvious. Nice focal length with a maximum aperture of f4, dust and splash protection and a fast autofocus. The disadvantages are clear as well. The high price, a really expensive lens hood if you lose the one that comes with the lens, and of course it's not the lightest lens. I hope guys you enjoyed watching this review in English. If you have any questions concerning this lens, leave me a comment below. Rent this lens before buying it. Once you pass through Frankfurt, stop local and ask for it. You can download a lot of the footage from this video, the link is in the description below. See you soon, bye bye.